Hey Pepper Gang, if you are new to Seekers of Skyveil, struggling to learn, or just someone who hasn't played in a very long time, I'm here to help. I have been playing the game since alpha, and even though I don't consider myself an expert, I know what I'm doing and can make your learning curve a little easier. So I have compiled my top 20 tips and tricks for brand new players, no specific order or importance. By the end of the video, I hope you just feel more confident in your first few hours of gameplay if you apply some of these tips. If you have any further questions though, swing by my Twitch live stream where I stream daily, have Twitch drops for Seekers, and can help out real time. And also a reminder that this game is still in development, everything is subject to change. But with that, let's get to it. Number 1. Focus on getting your extract key as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to acquire since you might get third party throughout the raid. I like to get it out of the way as soon as possible, typically fighting the nearest mini boss near the spawns. You are able to extract the solo extracts without a key. It just takes longer to activate the portal. The whole process is slightly longer, which can make a difference at the end of the raid. Number 2, you're able to extract the team extracts as a duo or solo. You just need 3 keys. Sometimes it's easier farming a third key nearby than running across the map to try to make it to a different extract. Number 3, teams drop extra keys at extracts. If your team needs 1 or 2 more keys and you see a team extract, any extra keys they were carrying will drop in that spot where the extractor was. I have waited nearby team extracts as a solo to get leftover keys this way. Number 4, plan for the extractors to change locations. Both solo and team extracts change location after each use, so make sure you consider this when planning to leave a raid. Give yourself plenty of time in the raid to trek across the map, especially on Ancient Veil. Number 5, speaking of Ancient Veil, to make it a little easier to navigate, learn the tunnels. If you're a new player watching, you're not going to get to Ancient Veil right away, but when you start running it, get comfortable using those tunnels to move around. They're typically safer and make the map feel smaller. It's a great way to flank as well and lose people that are chasing you. Number 6, make the most of your raids. You can travel around Blooming Grove very quick especially, and with speed alters, you can cross that map within a minute or less. So if you're the last team standing on BG, make the most of your raid. On Ancient Veil, you need to allow more time to leave, but BG I've waited to leave with less than a minute and still made it to my extract. Number 7, bring bandages if you have to choose between meds. I usually don't bring in good green potions since heal altars are everywhere and green potions are a little easier to find. Bandages I have a harder time finding in raid, and they're necessary to regain all your HP in the raid that blackened part, so prioritize those bandages. Number 8, zig when people zag. Be flexible in your raid. For example, if a team is clearing the area you wanted to clear, maybe go loot the meteorite that crashed. If you see people that are using the wishing well, maybe don't go there, go clear a boss somewhere else. The point is, look at the notifications the raid gives you about people's whereabouts and play off that, especially if you struggle in PvP. If you're aware of where people are, you can maneuver the map a little better. Number 9, you can actually survive past the 0-0 mark in the raid. You will take damage, but if you're really close to the extract or we're waiting for that portal to open, those extra seconds past 0 are a huge help. I've extracted many times throughout the small window, so don't give up if you're close to your extract. Number 10, do not neglect breakable boxes around the map and bases. They are everywhere. They sometimes give you consumables you can use that raid. You will collect resources fairly quickly if you're constantly hitting them. I see many go unhit throughout the raid, and resources don't take up inventory space, so you can extract with as much as possible. Moving on to number 11, if you die, you get to keep your resources farmed, which you can then use to craft new gear. This ties with hitting all the boxes you see, because if you're having a really bad PvP day, you're dying a lot, at least those resources are always extracted no matter live or die. Those resources can be used right away. Crafted gear is very helpful and makes dying with loot a little less painful. Number 12, aim for the best kit every single time. It's the best way to get rid of gear fear if you have it, especially if you're a new extraction player. New extraction players have a tendency to hoard really good gear and not use it. They become attached to it, and when they do use it and lose it, it feels even worse. And that just continues that gear fear issue. Best way to get rid of gear fear, if you're a little scared to use good gear, is just slap it on as soon as you see it and re-queue as soon as possible. Don't even think twice. At the end of the day, all that loot is borrowed, they're pixels, and to succeed in Seekers PvP, You want to have the best kit possible on at all times. Number 13, don't be afraid of quick raids. The longer you're in, there's a higher chance of death. If you see an extract nearby, don't be afraid just to reset really quickly. There's been many times as a solo where the solo extract was right next to my spawn, so many times I will farm quickly, get my key, fill up my pockets, and extract within 5 minutes of starting the raid, just because it's a freebie and I can requeue another one pretty damn quickly in the menu. Those quick raids here and there will help build up your stash quicker than you think. Number 14, don't be afraid to disengage and call a fight a temporary L. It might hurt your ego a little bit at the time, but you might have a chance to fight again later in that raid if you recover, heal, and flank. Value your life though, extracting the raid is still the #1 goal. Number 15, try new Seekers if one isn't working out. Sometimes a Seeker's abilities don't fit our preferred playstyle, so if you took the time to learn one, you're not having much success, doesn't feel natural, don't be afraid to learn another. At least through this process of trying them out, you're going to learn what their abilities are, expand your knowledge, and be able to counter Seekers in the raid. Number 16, you can upgrade materials to tier 2 materials as you find them. You just need to go to your vendors and keep upgrading your recipes, and once you pass the rare upgrade, scroll down to the bottom, the material upgrades are down there. Number 17, don't underestimate teams or challenge scores much higher than yours. The challenge score is a combination of what people brought in and how much PvE they have cleared in that raid. If a team or player significantly outscores you, just focus on disengaging, at least until you get a better grasp on the game and PvP. A high score veteran Seeker with low HP can still defeat a full HP Seeker with lesser gear. With time, this part of the game will come easier. Just don't shy away from PvP if you want to improve, just be selective. Not every battle is worth taking. Number 18, use the wish you well often, especially if you're solo. Aim for the hole when you drag stuff in, it can be a little finicky, and sometimes I'll even throw gray gear in there that I brought in just to complete the 3 item requirement for upgrades. I also recommend take advantage of those wishing well surges you see every now and then. It's honestly one of the best ways to get purple gear as a solo, instead of fighting tough bosses. Number 19, focus on your quest and your recruit pass. It's going to teach you the game, teach you where loot is, teach you about monsters, and the loot you get from this pass is super helpful early on as a new player. By the time you complete both, you should be past the noob stage and just have a good grasp on the game. Number 20, lastly, respect the red skull icons you see on monsters. It's a warning saying you are too low level for it, and you can take them down. It's just going to take much longer, but it's going to leave a longer window to get third party by other players. And also, 1 or 2 bad hits from those mini bosses with skulls could wreck you pretty damn quickly, so be careful if you're trying to fight something much higher level. But those are my top 20 tips for noobs, guys. I could have kept going, but I condensed the list for time's sake. This won't be my only guide for Seekers, but this should get you started as a new player. I appreciate you watching this far. If you want more Seekers content, check out the playlist I have curated for the game here at the end. Thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.